There's always a job for a yes man. You don't know what a yes man is? A yes man is a politician. And every politician, exception one somewhere in the world, is a subject of subordinate of somebody that's higher than them. And the only way that you can stay a politician is you play the game that's passed down to you. So if you are intelligent and are a Christian, you can easily see that being a politician and a Christian is just not possible. It ain't for me. I worked at the prison, and I had people that come down the ladder. Right to start with, I helped them capture, which ain't a big deal, but I helped them get some pot off the compound, and I got a big high accommodation for it, evaluation. And then right after that, I got information about officers bringing it on the compound, and I passed it on, and the investigator pulled me out into the middle of the compound where there weren't nothing recording anything, and advised me that the administration didn't want all the pot off the compound, that they used it to sedate, keep the inmates chilled. So I just raised Cain about that. I didn't hold him in confidence, and he disappeared. I don't know, they transferred him somewhere, or he retired or something, and I went to the towers as a means of a punishment. I stayed in those towers, I might say, for about 5 years, keeping me out in the limelight and whatever, and until I think it was a Friday, I came to the house, and I went and called the FBI office in Panama City, and I went down there and went in, and it was like a fortress. But anyway, they interviewed me, and I told them about the way I was being treated, and I flat out asked them that in the federal prison did they allow drugs on there to keep the inmates sedated. He didn't answer the question to my knowledge. But he asked me, he said, you could be, he said, you could be dangerous, couldn't you? I said, well, possibly in the right situation, anybody could, or something like that. So he asked me for my painting I did of Ronnie Braxton. I had one I showed him there, and he asked me, could he give it to his, what do you call these guys that looks at things, and profiler. I said, sure. So I just left it with him. And never heard anything back from him. But when I went back to work, Colonel Farley, when I was walking down the hall the very next day I went to work, swung out across the hall in front of me and spread his arms and legs out and said, hold on, Winston, I've been noticing that you've been in the towers, and we're going to move you and give you a better shift. And so they did. And I didn't have any retributions for it, but I'm telling you that I am not a yes man. I consider it a sin to mistreat somebody else because they made the politician mad somewhere. Truth and politics ain't the same thing. You cannot have politics in your church. Now, politicians need to be in church, and in a certain way we have to have politicians. And I'm not kissing up now, but the two sheriffs in Washington, Holmes County right now is we need to keep with a situation like a dangerous situation is in America. But you need to be conscious of the fact when you vote somebody in for past the second term, that they're redistributing wealth. They're redistributing it from the poor people of the county and putting it in their cow pasture somewhere. So there's more to serving God than just get up and play and follow the leader to whoever gets up in the pulpit. God bless you, Winston Hudson. Now this is the most controversial subject that I'm going to talk about. And I call it the slash and dash religion. It's like a drive-through. It's to where the women live in particular, and men, whatever, the rebellion against the marriage laws of the Bible and the will of Christ is just become a acceptable part of the society, of the church society. Your relationship with your husband or your wife equates, in my opinion, your relationship with Christ. And now a lot of us has bobbled, and y'all know I've bobbled some. But there is repentance and there's an end to it. When a politician or a preacher gets up there and preaches casually against it, but he knows it's going on in the church, and just dashing on off and not doing anything about it, well then he is just upholding this, what he's doing. God bless. Retaliation. I had a woman to tell me one time that she really liked a certain deacon because it seemed to her like when somebody in the church crossed what they were wanting to do, not only did he stand against it, but he poured out a little bit of extra punishment to them. I guess teach them not to do it again. I just wonder where that's in the scriptures, the spirit there. Is that the flesh or is that the fruits of the spirit? Another thing that bothers me a lot is for a person that's in the church to fail. Now, I'm not talking about failing and seeking repentance and just going back on and serving God. That's what God intended for us to do. But I am talking about people that just get weaker and weaker in the walk with God and just never deal with it, and even get to the point that their character flaw, which might be lying, gets to lying in the pulpit and lying to Christian people, and it's just ignored. Well, I'm afraid that all of us have weaknesses that we deal with all of our life. And when we really completely have victory over them, we go see Jesus. But there is also something reverent about the pulpit and about serving God. You got to do it in purity in heart and with absolute truth. There's no other way. We hear people talk about standing upright before God. We have to, and we will, and we do stand before God. How upright it is, I really don't know. But the person we got to stand upright before is ourselves. And becoming a complete person involves getting right with God, seriously getting right with God, with absolute truth. He is truth, and he knows where you're being truthful to yourself or not. And then after that, very important, is that you rehash the mistake and learn from it, not to wallow in sorrow and stuff, but to understand why you did what you did or why you didn't do what you didn't do, and to learn from it. That is when you get into a place where you can walk upright before yourself. Thank you.